Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Okay, maybe I'm not ready.
We're live now. If you are not ready, then fix it.
Hi guys, welcome back to the MUZI Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another video. It's MUZI Reality. We're back on another live stream and we're going to be talking a lot today. Today is a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I can see even things are swapping. But hello and welcome back to MUZI. We're back. It is that time of the day where we have to talk about what is happening around. Nizwile God. Did you guys hear the things that are happening around this world while we're still sleeping? Apparently,
Yes.
there was a cold fridge.
Not a fridge.
And it walked around almost similar to how it moved,
Yeah.
Looking for dockets that include, that actually specifically talks about the Armand Swart situation.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they find that case while it's hot. The fridge could not capture the situation. So what happened is that it had to go back. Because that fridge deals with the cold stuff. Wants to keep them on the freezer. So I'm not a good storyteller myself. I think Emil is going to be able to tell you what is happening. But I had the fridge and I think I had the constables and whatnot. And yeah, the fridge was trying to get there. But no. Fridge. In fact, what you are looking for is very hot. It might kill this defreezer. It just relax. We just arrested someone. Relax. Yebana. This case is arresting. Bebo. And then the fridge, they had to go back empty.
Yes.
So therefore that meant that there was no subsequently and the intelligence way of arresting the situation. You get me? And that meant less people who had different cases classified as people who have many cases, and they arrest you for this while they are actually going to ask you for this, stuff like that. So it didn't happen. That one was arresting direct. So, Emil, I don't want to take your job. That's a story I heard on the streets.
It's a nice summary, though. It's a nice summary. For those who don't know what Mr. Anonymous is talking about, let me fill you in. But the story has been trending the whole day. Listen, at the Madlanga Commission, there has been a witness called Witness A. I suspect it's one of the investigators of these GCI cases. The ones with Katiso Mole for Ket Matlala, those heavy, high-profile cases. His identity or her identity is covered at the Madlanga Commission. Nobody knows who it is. But let me tell you, they've got files for days, okay? Today, what is making us talk a lot is this whole interlinkage with the cold case unit. News came out of the Madlanga Commission from Witness A today. Witness A told the Madlanga Commission that they were called to the head office where officers from cold case unit wanted the Armand Swart murder case docket. Do you guys remember who Armand Swart is? Armand Swart is an alleged victim of the allegedly Katiso Molefe put out a hit on Armand Swart under the belief that he was a whistleblower. Turns out it was mistaken identity. He was not the whistleblower that they were looking for. And then they ended up shooting at his van out of his workplace. I think he got shot 23 times.
Allegedly. And allegedly.
But we talked about the Armand Swart case while we were covering Katiso Molefe. When he got arrested the first time, and everything that was unpacking there by the News 24 in every publication that you could think of at the time. Armand Swart's case docket, the cold case unit wanted it. Where Katiso Molefe is an accused person, the cold case unit, the one that Brigadier Gininda is the head of, they wanted that docket. For what, we don't know.
Allegedly. Yeah, so there was a ganda and carrying the fridge, stuff like that. But, well, the fridge remained empty as things stands now. So
now, witness A at the Madlanga Commission said, this case is not cold. Why is the cold case unit looking for this docket? Because this case is not a cold case. There was progress on it and they were making arrests. So what business does the cold case unit have with this docket? Let's listen a bit to what they said. Mr. Anonymous, turn the volume up there with the Bluetooth via the situation. Let's listen.
It's up.
Let's listen to what was said at the Madlanga Commission.
It's very much up.
Okay, it's not playing. Why is it not playing? There's no sound.
Know. Let me see.
Did it disconnect?
Let me see.
We are getting the footage ready. I need you guys to hear that. And considering what General Fanima Semola also said when he was testifying at the ad hoc committee, remember he told Parliament that General...
Yes, now I had already resumed duties. Then we were doing normal investigation on this case. And maybe it should be mentioned that we were doing this case and other cases that we already had at the office. So it will be this case and other cases, depending what investigation we have on other cases. And then we were called to come to the office, and then the information was that there were two officers who were waiting for us, or who needed to meet with us at the office. And then we drove to the office, and then we found these two police officers at our office now, at the organized crime office. And then they told us they are from the cold case unit, and then they requested that we give them over the docket of Swart murder. And one of these warrant officers was identified to us as Dion Mulaudzi, who works at the cold cases office. And then we refused. We said we cannot, because that's procedurally that was wrong. You can't just give the docket to someone because they're requesting for the docket, let alone that this was the sensitive matter that we're investigating. Even if it was just a normal docket that had no threats and everything, you cannot just say, okay, here's the docket, you're looking for it, have it.
Witness A, the form of request, did they have a letter with them or was it a verbal request?
It was a verbal request.
And who is the head of the cold case unit? Or who was at the time?
I really do not have concrete information. I only heard that the head of the cold case unit will be Brigadier, I just forgot the name. He's Brigadier GININDA, yes, he's heading it, but I have not seen the structure of that unit. I don't know if that is true.
And just for our benefit, what is a cold case in the context of the South African police system?
The cold case is a term given to the cases that one would say they are lying dormant. They have been opened, and then there is no breakthrough for a certain period of time. Then they will be referred to as a cold case, which will then mean that they need a certain or a different approach from a mainstream approach that maybe the station or any other unit will be giving. Then they are ordinarily transferred or given to the cold case unit. But this one of us, it was a fresh case, and it was not called in a way that the people were already arrested and it was caught going. So it didn't really fit the category of it being investigated in that unit to start with.
So you, as one of the investigators, had not yet formed a view that you've hit a dead end with this case?
No. Actually, the progress on the case was wonderful. We were having leads. We were getting closer to even arresting fourth suspect. And then we had good linkages to the suspect that we had already arrested. So there is no way that it could have been referred to as a cold case at that stage.
Hey, kancane uyavela. Uyazi ukuthi yeah, it's happening. I told you sometimes you need to relax and let things unfold. Hey, kancane izinto ziyavela. But hey, it is tool. What can we say? What can we say? Here we are dealing with the situation, in this case of Senzo Meyiwa, where an accused, such as SBIYA, who was serving life, was serving 12 years in jail. He does not know certain things that actually put him into that 12 years, let alone what is currently happening here. And I'm baffled by the behavior of how the line of questioning is going about, because it seems to denounce that at his arrest, when he was arrested initially, he was actually arrested for Senzo's case. It later affirms that through Warrant Officer Makubo,
Yes.
saying that these guys, he was told that they were questioned about Senzo's case, which is a line of questioning that you would not expect from someone who is seasoned
prosecutor.
To say that because I'm trying to prove that you were not there in that house, which is in a sense immaterial, because that meeting either way did happen.
It did happen.
Whether he was there or not there, it's that question of where the argument. Obviously, you are trying to prove that the person can lie, which I doubt is lying. But in your proving that, you are also now disproving something else just so that you can go there where you want to prove a small thing, disproving even a bigger thing. This guy said in 2019, in his own words, I was not arrested about anything else other than being questioned about Senzo's case.
Yes.
And then when you start looking at the meat of his case, when they try to deal with it there, it does not have a background. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
It does not have a background, a solid background that can make sense. I mean, he was questioned whether they found these substances on his body. Did they check you? Did they check you? You know, those things, they are making the other case questionable even more.
Very shady.
In that process, I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
That the line of questioning is
It's
making the
poking
other
holes
case
at the other case.
even weaker, to say, why is this person actually in jail for starters if such questions are found wandering like this? You want to know whether he was they checked his pockets and all that.
And they searched him.
He says no. He says no. Okay, they went with me, and then the phone was taken by my uncle. And then from there, what does that tell you?
He wasn't searched.
He wasn't searched. What does that tell you about the case that the investigation? Tells you that this man was arrested, and
something else.
because they didn't even take the cell phone, that would mean that they didn't even get anything else from him, because they didn't even search for the cell phone, a bigger thing than the substances that could be. I assume they would be smaller pockets based on the grams that they gave us. So, how did he get arrested eventually? Same strategy happens in 2020. Same strategy.
Yes.
You are affirming something else. You are denouncing yourself on the other side. I don't know if you guys picked that one up. But Lungile, Emil, I'll show Nekon.
I know cross-examination it was a hot mess, but we'll go through it. Before we start, I just wanted to share that General Fanima Semola has said something about General SBIYA wanting the cold case unit to report to him as the deputy. Remember,
you did mention
Brigadier
it, yeah.
Gininda had mentioned that cold case unit was established by the former National Commissioner, General Kehlas Tole, and they were reporting to him. So now, 2025, General SBIYA is saying no, they must not report to the National Commissioner. He has a lot on his plate. They can report to me. So that was interesting. And today we find out that the cold case unit officers were sent to go fetch Armand Swart's case. And Armand Swart was assassinated last year, around October, if I'm not mistaken. So the case is very much still fresh. And it's being actively investigated. I'm sure you can see the arrests that have happened and taken place. So that's very interesting.
And things don't end there. Just to give you a brief of what is currently happening with the case of Kat. He is appealing there in Johannesburg High Court.
Yes.
The judgment of that appeal has been reserved.
Yes.
Which normally
Will come virtually.
speaks normally once you hear that. Just expect the unexpected.
Granted.
Yeah. So it is like that, but we're not going to deal and delve in that. Let us continue.
Well, today, the Senzo Meyiwa trial, there was a bit of a delay in the morning. Accused 2 and another accused apparently were late, and there had to be some kind of an adjournment. But after they resumed, Mshololo started with a cross-examination. Now, she started by asking SBIYA the reason why she was going to ask him those questions and putting it to him is because of the following. She said that in the indictment, it read that in case of conviction, the said Director of Public Prosecution prays for sentence according to the law with specific reference to the provisions of Section 51, subsection 1 and Section 51, subsection 2 of Act 105 of 1997 as murder was planned or premeditated as envisaged. So the questions that she said she'll be putting to SBIYA.
Let us pause there. I'm just going to be addressing some of the things that I see.
Okay.
There is someone who thinks that the issue of SBIYA not being searched seemingly might land in a door of Ndanzi not also being searched, which aligns with the plan, I guess, the line of questioning of the states. But now there is differences there.
Yes.
SBIYA was not searched, but SBIYA gave his phone to his uncle. So he did not stay with SBIYA forever. The uncle took it.
Yes.
So you can rely on that. In fact, the fact that someone did the wrong does not necessarily mean that therefore they might also do the very same wrong on someone else. Not searching a person that you suspect, it is wrong and dangerous. So something that you can be proud of. Only in that court where people can glorify such a thing and use it as a form of defense. But it's not something that you can go on and hit your chest and say, we didn't search him. So I don't see it standing as something that should therefore mean that because it did not happen initially. Because if you accept that, also you must accept the fact that MUZI then was actually arrested for Senzo in 2019.
Remember, they let him go for the very same case after they were done.
So
interrogating him.
it's not a proof. It is rather, if you rely on that, I would question your quality as a lawyer to say, really, would you want to rely on that? It is something that happened. It's an unfortunate thing that happened in that court. I can tell you that. Something that SAPS would not want to make noise about it and say, yeah. More so in situations like this that we are facing now when it comes to SAPS. So it's a dent that you don't want in your door. Because then
It's
the
quite
question
embarrassing.
at the later stage might be, if that did not happen, what was the procedure that was followed after that? After they find out that, okay, you arrested a person, you did not search them, there's nothing that you did. When they found that cell phone, what did they do in that moment about the person that did not do that, about the people that did not do that? They could have arrested this person with a gun. So it's not something that you want to hammer on
as a state. So the questions that she said she'll be putting to SBIYA will be because of the phrase "as the murder was planned or premeditated." So when the state says "as murder was planned," it means it was planned by yourself, meaning SBIYA, together with the co-accused. That is the reason why she said she was going to ask questions in respect of accused number 5, whether they did plan to commit the offense that is mentioned in these provisions. Planning or premeditated is something that takes place before the actual incident, which is the killing of the deceased. Now, she said that when you started testifying, you mentioned that you know accused number 5 as your cousin. And SBIYA said, yes, he is my cousin. And Mshololo asked him, did you have any knowledge about the killing of the deceased prior to the incident? And SBIYA said, no, I never had knowledge of the death of the deceased. Even now, I don't know how the deceased died. Mshololo then said, during the period of 2014, accused number 5 was your cousin. Had you seen him during that year? And SBIYA said, no, he hadn't seen him. And during the month of October, which is the month the incident took place, 2014, in this case, did you see accused number 5? SBIYA said, no, he didn't see him. And Mshololo then asked him, and on the day of the incident, did you see accused number 5? And SBIYA said, no, he didn't see him. Now, Mshololo said that she was trying to establish the planning and premeditation of this case. And she asked, did you at any stage benefit or any benefit as a result of the killing of the deceased in this matter? And SBIYA said, no, he never got anything. Mshololo then asked him, were you at the crime scene when the incident took place on the 26th of October 2014? SBIYA said, no, I was not there. I was never there. So Mshololo then asked him, last week when you were testifying, you told this court that when you were arrested, Brigadier Gininda and his team took you to your parents to inform your parents that you had been arrested. SBIYA said, they took me on the 6th of June 2020. Mshololo then asked him, did they tell you the reason why? And SBIYA said, Bongani asked me what was it that they could do for me. It's very interesting, this Bongani has never come to court to testify. He said I wanted to find my uncle. Now Mshololo asked him, where was your uncle at the time? And SBIYA said he was in Tembisa, here in Johannesburg. And Mshololo then asked him, so did they take you to Tembisa? And SBIYA said no. Mshololo then asked him, do you know the reason why? And SBIYA said he didn't know. When they took you to your parents in Mahlabatini, had you asked them that you wanted to see your parents? SBIYA said, no, I didn't. Mshololo then asked him, so why were you taken to your parents? And SBIYA said that they were the ones who made the decision that they wanted to take me to my parents at home. And Mshololo then asked him, did you give Brigadier Gininda and his team your patent number in order to call, or your parents' number, my apologies, in order to call them and inform them that you had been arrested instead of going to Mahlabatini? And SBIYA said, no, I never gave it to them. They never requested it. They never requested his number. He says he never gave them his parents' number, and yet they traveled all the way to KZN Mahlabatini. Now Mshololo asked SBIYA, is it procedure that you know that when a person is arrested, they'll be taken to their parents under normal circumstances? What was the point and purpose of all of this, Mr. Anonymous? What do you think, in your opinion?
In my opinion, in my fair opinion, judging from what we have been hearing about this case, obviously from the beginning it seems as if they got the wrong people. But it seems, in my opinion, that they would not let them go. Maybe because of one reason or another. So they needed some information, more information. Perhaps then you'd go to that area and search for things that can actually help you validate whatever that you want to validate. That for me, that was the point. And a bit of emotional, seeing your parents in that compromised position, they are definitely disappointed, and the pain they feel. So it's emotionally playing in your mind, and you probably break somewhere somehow. Considering from what we are hearing now, other than the testimony, we are told that SBIYA in a sense could not break. That's what we are hearing. So to break you, obviously I need to get things that can get you to that point of being emotional wreck. Then you are able to break. You know,
Parents.
In movies we see that happening, but unfortunately it seems as if it did not work well with this situation. And that's if we follow SBIYA's theory.
Well, I still recall earlier reports, they were saying that they were actually looking for pictures of him in dreadlocks. Allegedly. Those were allegations.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yes.
So then Mshololo asked him, do you know if any of the accused were taken to their parents after their arrest? And SBIYA said none of them were taken to their parents. So why only you, Mshololo asked? And SBIYA said he won't know the reason, but according to his view, it was a way of tormenting him, for him to go with handcuffs, arrested, to be taken home and taken back, and then tormenting his parents as well, having them seeing him in cuffs and having been beaten up. Baloyi objected and said it was because they wanted to verify the address. He said he didn't know why the witness was being asked to speculate about the reason why he was taken to his home. The judge said it's what Gininda said, but it is not what this witness is saying. It's fine. He's got a right to tell the court what he knows, the reason is, or what his suspicions are, And it's not a norm for police officers to arrest people and then accompany them to go see their parents in handcuffs and stuff, travel all the way, many, many kilometers, jumping I don't know how many districts just to go, and it's not normal. It's not a norm, and I don't think it's a law written on any book that should be done. It's not normal.
They would say they went to search more from home.
But that's not what they said. They said they were going to verify the address.
Yeah.
At least they could have used that excuse to say we're looking for more evidence. But then that wouldn't fly either. How are you arresting a person with no evidence? So they had to say they went there to verify the address. But still.
No, it's possible that you have evidence, but it's late.
No, but you're jumping districts after district. Why are you not phoning the
police
police
officers? It has nothing to do
officers?
with districts. It's the same way that we are seeing now the search and seizure that is being done between. I'm not saying that is the case, but I'm just trying to debunk the theory to say that
No, but it has to be debunked, because even with those search and seizures that you're talking about with the PKTT
it's
and
the
GCIS,
same PKTT.
With that,
Did
it's
they
different.
Did they send the police that side, or they went there themselves in Northwest?
Where in Northwest?
The when they were looking for Brown Mohots.
But Brown Mohotsi is the one who called the fire of the PKTT to himself. Why are we being compared with a normal civilian?
No, I'm just saying.
He's looking for Brian because Brian Bahlogolozi.
No, don't be emotional.
I'm not being emotional. What do you mean I'm being emotional?
I'm saying to you that theory, it can happen like that. That they take you, they have information, legal information, they take you, and they go to search your house at home, maybe for a car, maybe for something. They can. They are allowed. I'm trying to say.
But that is not what they said in court.
Yes, I
That's
agree
not the
with you.
excuse they gave.
I agree with you.
Yes.
But it's possible that they can go with you. It is possible.
Okay. So Mshololo then said, did the police tell you that the purpose of taking you home is because they wanted to verify the address? And SBIYA said they never said, according to my knowledge, when a person is verifying an address coming from Johannesburg, you can call the police in KZN. And then they are the ones who go and verify the address of the person.
In that case,
and then they
true.
confirm that the person indeed stays there.
In that case, that is true. But if they said they went to search for example, a gun, that's where I'm coming from.
But they did not say that.
Yes, I'm saying, but they did not say. They cannot change it. It's okay. It's done. Their defense, I think it was weaker. That's why I'm saying. But if they said, no, we thought this person might have this gun, then we decided to go there and search it. We couldn't send because we don't know the dynamics of what is happening
They
that side.
couldn't use that either.
Yeah.
Even that excuse, they couldn't use that.
Which one?
That means you are not having anything solid to arrest this person.
No, you are thinking of a gun as the only source.
It's not the only source.
Okay, Emil. Here's a different view. Someone who let's say whatever that is in that court in the form of the statements that, okay, let's say they admitted, according to them, they admitted. So, or you admitted that you killed someone, you buried them somewhere. They take you there, right? They check the thing. They check if the body is there. It does happen like that. So I'm not saying they don't have the body when the time when they arrest you, but they can go there and find the body. That's more evidence for them. But I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just giving you the scenarios in which they can go with you. so that you can give access in your house, for example, if they want something in your house. But that's not, they could have used that, but they didn't. They decided to go for verifying the address, which was not probed by, I think, the what do you call, the lawyers, to say, but you could have used someone else's site to verify the address.
No, but probing them could have given them ideas. So why probe something that they say they did? They were there to verify the address. That's the end of that. Had they added all these extra things?
Looking at this court, I mean, does it help you to say they were there to verify the address?
Whose side are you on? Are you on their side?
I'm on your side.
No, you are speaking on their behalf.
I'm
saying if you were in their shoes, you would have probably said that
you are saying
were there to find
they
more
were
evidence.
there. It's on record. They were there to verify the address, and I agree. But you not probing it in that court. I'm trying to take you back to that court of right and how things work there. If you didn't probe it, it's there, it's fine, it's acceptable with that. That's basically what I'm trying to say. If you didn't say, but you could have used the police that side, why did you choose to actually go with this person down there? If you didn't say that, it's there in the court of Rata, and I'm believing you, between me and you, we know it's accepted properly. It's in order.
But it doesn't make it legal.
Yes, as we stand here, it doesn't make it legal. But do you think Rata is going to sit down and think that this doesn't make it legal?
That's why appeals exist.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now we are going somewhere.
The police don't take a person. Secondly, SBIYA said they have arrested and leave them to go and confirm the address. That does not exist. The address that he gave was the Tembisa one, which is 1818 Vusmusi section. The thing of going and confirming an address, he said that he never gave them that address. He can't say what address they say they went to confirm.
That's a smart move.
That's not the address that he gave them.
That's a smart move. But remember, now I want you to go, I'm not on anybody's side. I want you to compare what is their defense. Their defense was, do you remember what their defense was?
What was their defense?
They did not confirm the Vusumus because the address was wrong.
Yes.
He gave them a wrong address. So they wanted now that second address. So
that
in
a
sense,
he did not give them.
Remember that 181?
That he did not give them.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes, that he did not give them. So he gave them the address. Remember, SBIYA is a liar, according to what is presented in that
according
court.
To them.
Yes, SBIYA is a liar. SBIYA is a person who, even in his statements voluntarily, he gave them lies. So now they were doing their own investigation. Then they realized, no, this person comes from Mashabatin. However, that also backfires because when they come to court, they still use Nongom as their evidence. That's how shambolic this case is. Even upon going there, reaching the home and verifying, they still come back and say, Nongom.
Uyazama Mr. Uyazama ukunikeza lento isdima.
That's how shambolic things are. Even when you went there, it's like they get a copy and paste.
And they still call
they
it
still
Nongoma.
manage to butcher it.
And then they still kept the so-called 1818 Vusmuzi address.
And yet they had 1818. That was 1818 is the correct one.
But they written 8181.
They wrote 81. They wrote 81. There was a missing 8, I think.
Okay, 818.
Yeah.
818, something like
Yeah,
that.
818.
So they wrote
181.
it like that.
Yeah, and then it becomes that. But
So they couldn't go and verify Kotembisa to see if they wrote the right house number.
no, but they
But they
didn't
traveled
even need.
all the way
They didn't even need to go and verify.
to KZN.
They went to search for an ID in this person's house.
Yes.
So they were like, that's why I'm saying
They
this is how
missed.
miserable
missed.
this whole thing is. It is miserable. It does not make sense. I'm sure now when they're sitting down, they could have done better.
Yeah. SBIYA asked, okay, Msholo then asked him that in the return trip that they took from Joburg to Mahlabatini, which had been estimated to be 16 hours travel road by the judge. Remember the judge saying it was 8 hours to and back. She asked if SBIYA was given any water. SBIYA said no, he was not given any water. And he asked to explain that 16-hour estimation that came from the judge. He said, SBIYA, according to his knowledge and norm, when he goes home from Johannesburg, it takes him 7 hours.
That's correct, SBIYA. That's correct.
And on that day, because he did not have the time with him, he does not know how many hours that these people were traveling to his home state. He says that they left Pretoria in the morning, but arrived there after dark at night because they took him, they went with him to the airport in Tembisa and they waited there for Gininda and his crew. And after that, they went and they stopped at Standerton. Then the next stop that they had was at Engine Garage at Ulundi. He said they would go in and buy whatever they wanted to buy. They would buy something to eat, but they never gave him anything to eat that entire trip. So from there, they went to Mahlabatini police station, but they couldn't find an escort at Mahlabatini police station. Then they went Kwaqeza police station. Kwaqeza police station. And they found an escort there who accompanied them until they reached his home. So those stops that they made,
Yeah.
did they make the trip longer?
Obvious, they could have. We can estimate how.
It's a lot
we
of
do.
stops
It's
that
a lot
they
of stuff,
made.
but it does to me make sense. I'll tell you why. When you go down that route of Standerton, it's R23, 24. Sometimes it changes. Normally, the first stop, if you're using a car and it's a full tank car, I'm making an example, it's a petrol. Let me use 1.4. Yeah. The first stop is Falcrest. That's where you get to rest and also fill in the petrol. Normally it's half a tank, depending on your car. And then from there you can move until now. I'm speaking for people who are staying either Vryheid, Newcastle, Ulundi, Nqutu, Nkandla, Babanango, Melmoth, Mpangeni. I think mostly the Mpangeni one would refill again, depending on how much you trust your car with the petrol that you have at Melmoth before. Even the Showe people, because they use that road, Nongoma, Mahlabatini. But all those people, their normal stop is what you call is Falcrest. But this is the change that they make, I think, to show that these people are not from KZN. Most of them, they fill their petrol maybe at Standerton. Therefore, there will be no need to fill at Falcrest. You pass Falcrest straight pass Newcastle, Treg, you go down 10 before you reach Ngutu. You go down to Vryheid, 10 ahead of Vryheid, and then you are heading now to Ulundi. There, I would assume from Standerton to Ulundi, then your petrol will still be there, but you would need to refill, considering that you are still going to go to villages and you are not sure of the distance of the villages. But a person who knows probably would go there and still can come back to town. But because they were not sure, they had to fill again. And then they went to the other police stations. But basically, it makes sense. It does happen like that. Even when you are using taxis, there are taxis that fill at Standerton.
Okay. So he said that when they left home, they also passed by Kwageza, then at Vryheid. Then they entered the garage and bought food and ate. Then from Vryheid, they only stopped at the airport, and then at the airport at Captain Park. Some of the police officers remained at Captain Park, and then the other ones continued with him back to Valeria. By the way, when they stopped and ate, they didn't give him any food. Exclude him from that. MUZI then said that he was just explaining the hours because he is used to 7 hours. He doesn't know how many hours it took them.
I agree with him.
It could have exceeded 8 hours.
I fully agree with him. It is 7 hours, including the resting hours. It is 7 hours. If you decide not to rest,
it's maybe...
You know, when you are using a taxi, people would go to that KFC full crust that has long queues. You know, you wait for them for like maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Or sometimes even more than that, depending on the busy on maybe if it's a festive or something like that.
Yes.
So I agree with him. My calculation told me like that also. In fact, my experience also tells me like that.
So SBIYA confirmed that for those hours they traveled, he was always handcuffed at the back. So Mshololo referred SBIYA to Exhibit FF and asked him to read the time. The time that he read there was 9:45, which is 9:45. And Mshololo then said, you testified that you were arrested during the day on the 30th of May 2020. Do you know the reason why you were arrested during the day at 1300 hours? Because this document was only completed at 9:45 at night. Then SBIYA said yes, because since he was arrested at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or just before that time, he was beaten up and tortured until the time that he met Mboto, and that is where he ended up signing. He said he was beaten up in Tembisa, again in Vosloorus at court. He says he was beaten up in Diepkloof. He says they tortured him all that time until they made him sign the confession.
Yes.
So Mshololo then said, did you at any stage call accused number 5 on the 26th of October 2014? SBIYA said no, he never had accused number 5's number. He doesn't have them. Now Mshololo moved to the evidence of Constable Zungu, the record from the 7th of September 2023, the evidence in chief of Zungu. And Mshololo asked him, have you ever quarreled with Constable Zungu before? And SBIYA said no, he's never had a quarrel with him, and he's speaking for himself. He doesn't know about him. He doesn't know about Zungu and how Zungu feels. But Yena, from his part, he never had a quarrel. He never fought with Zungu with words or anything like that. So Mshololo then said he testified on the 26th of October that he was with you and co-accused at Basutung Hostel on this date. And SBIYA said it's not like that. On the 26th of October 2014, he was at his homestead. He was never at Basutung Hostel or at Johannesburg. He never met accused number 5 or all of the co-accused. So Mshololo then asked him on 26th of September 2014, did you know Gwabeni? SBIYA said yes, he knew him. And Mshololo then asked him, did you see him on the 26th of October 2014? And SBIYA said no, he never saw him. SBIYA said he also did not see Makosonke. He also did not see Ntuli driving a Polo hatchback at Basutung Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Now Mshololo went to a picture in Exhibit S that depicted accused number 5 with accused number 3, where accused number 5 was wearing a black jacket. SBIYA said he did not know where that picture was taken. He also said that he was not there when that picture was taken. Now Mshololo asked, accused number 5 says that picture was taken at George Gore Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Do you have any comment? And SBIYA said he knew nothing about it. And Mshololo then said he also noticed that in Exhibit S, he did not see any picture wherein accused number 1 is also depicted. And SBIYA said, yes, you are right. There are no pictures of mine there. And Mshololo then said, why are you not there in these pictures? And SBIYA said, because I don't know the owner of the phone who took the pictures. And on the 26th of October, I was never with the person or any of these people here at court. So Mshololo then said, you also tendered evidence before this court that you started to see Constable Zungu in 2017 at Naledi Mall. And none of the accused before this court were present on that day when you firstly met Constable Zungu. And SBIYA said, no, they were not there. There was not even a single one among them who was there on that day. So Mshololo then said the second occurrence where you met Constable Zungu was in 2019 at Basutung Hostel. SBIYA said no, it was actually at Vusmus at Tembisa when he arrived with Gwabini. He was not only with Gwabini, he was with more people. Another person that SBIYA mentioned was Lungisani, Zwani, and Kulezweni. They were at Vusmus. None of the co-accused in court were present on that day. So Mshololo then asked him, is there a stage where you met at Gwabini's place? And SBIYA said yes, at Basutung Hostel in 2017. So he went to Basutung Hostel in 2017 to meet up with Gwabini. SBIYA said that it was for the first time that he met him formally, Zungu. And then Mshololo then said to him, but not Zungu, Gwabini, my apologies. But then Mshololo asked him, but Zungu's evidence was that he was with you at Basutung Hostel with the co-accused, not in 2019, but 2014, specifically the 26th of October 2014. SBIYA said he did not know Zungu in 2014. And on that day, he was not in Johannesburg, he was at home. And he was nowhere near Basutung Hostel. Nor did he meet with the co-accused that Zungu has counted. Even Zungu on the 26th of October 2014, he never met him. So Mshololo now moved to Ho's statement where Ho said that accused number 1 was communicating with accused number 5. SBIYA said he never communicated with accused number 5 for he does not have accused number 5's numbers, cell phone numbers. Mshololo then said also in this exhibit and throughout the data analysis done by Colonel Hose, there is a cell phone communication that was done by you and accused number 5 for the 26th of October 2014. But there's this communication for the period of the 10th of June 2018 to 2nd of April 2020, which is after the fact, after the incident. So Mshololo asked him to confirm if that number is said to have communicated with him did indeed belong to accused number 5. SBIYA said he did not know that number, and the number is 071-5951239. Colonel Ho said that number belongs to Mr. Nduli, but it is written Lungisani. Right? Then Lungisani accused number 5. So Hose wrote Lungisani accused number 5. I don't know who told him that Lungisani is accused number 5, but that's what he did. SBIYA said Lungisani is his sibling. That's what SBIYA is saying, that Lungisani is his sibling and this number belongs to Lungisani. So he said that even if we can call him right now, this number will be picked up by him. Even now, he says that he's in prison. He does call Lungisani when he needs things from him, using the very same number. SBIYA said that the person he calls on that number is Lungisani. Even now it's Lungisani. They're just mistaking his cousin Ntuli, accused number 5. He has never used that number. That number has always belonged to Lungisani. Even now it still belongs to Lungisani. So if he's using the very same number, dialing him for stuff that he needs from jail,
the judge will tell you phones can exchange hands. I'm just thinking.
who would want accused number 5's numbers? Msholo referred MUZI to 0793790137. That SBIYA confirms belongs to him. He said these are his numbers. And they said that these numbers contacted Fisoguhle, accused number 5, with the number 0715951239 44 times. SBIYA said that he repeats the number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe. He's the person that he used to call on this number. And each time he'd call him, he'd find him on the other line. So Mshololo then said it's not correct that you contacted Mr. Ntuli 44 times. SBIYA said, no, that's not true. It's corruption that's happening here. I felt him when he said this thing. It's corruption.
I align. It's not aligning.
You corruption, you okay?
It's not aligning.
I feel you. I feel you. So, Mshololo then said, but the person that you contacted in this number was Lungisani. And SBIYA said, it's Lungisani. Even now, when he dials the number, it's Lungisani who always answers. Even now, this number, if it was to be dialed in this court, the person that would respond is Lungisani. Mshololo went to where it said MUZI with number 0760774674 contacted Fisoguhle Ntuli at 0715951239 2 times. SBIYA said it was not true. He was never in contact with Fisoguhle Ntuli. The person he was in contact with was Lungisani. And this number belongs to Lungisani. Mshololo asked that even then, during the period of the 10th of June 2020 to 20th of April 2020, even if it's after the fact, did you communicate with Mr. Ntuli with another number? SBIYA said he never spoke to Ntuli over the phone. Even his numbers, he didn't have them. So Mshololo went to where accused number 5 with the number 0715951239 contacted Muzau Kalelwa's Themba SBIYA at 0793790137 35 times. SBIYA said that's not true. This was Lungisani. He was in contact with Lungisani. Mshololo now went to the exhibits DD3. The following number of Fisoguhle Ntuli was identified through an XDS report, and the number was 0713029137. SBIYA said he did not know the number and he has never used that number to contact Ntuli. He said he has never phoned Ntuli with that number or ever. So that marked the end of Mshololo's cross-examination. Now let's get into this mess that I call cross-examination of the state. So it was now time for Advocate Baloyi to cross-examine SBIYA. He started by saying that SBIYA recounted an incident in March 2019 when he was arrested by Mutau Baloyi and police officer who was wearing uniform. SBIYA said yes, and the police officer was wearing uniform was the driver of that vehicle. He saw the police officer when he got into the car after they'd grabbed him. So Baloyi then said you testified that they were driving in a taxi known as Impendulo. And SBIYA said yes. I wanted to ask Mr. Anonymous, what is a taxi Impendulo? Taxi linjani?
Ikhumbi.
Oh, ikhumbi.
Yeah.
Eline sliding door.
Yes.
Ayisiyaya.
Impendulo ibhaliwe man impendulo ngathi ilufudu nyana.
Okay.
Impendulo
I'll Google.
ngathi ilufudu impendulo.
Okay, I'll Google to see what it looks like. So Baloyi then asked, are you able to out the date or the month to this incident? And SBIYA said he did mention that he doesn't remember the date.
Yeah, impendulo iquantum mase.
Iquantum.
Eh.
Baloyi then said, could it have been on the 19th of March 2019? SBIYA said yes. Baloyi said, I seen your evidence in chief in the trial within a trial. You do say it was on March 2019. So we'll accept that it was on the 19th. Then SBIYA said yes. If I said so, then it means I
think the
will
only
still be able
difference
to
is that
recall
it's a Nissan, it's not a Toyota.
Or it's a Nissan.
Yeah.
All right. So then Baloyi asked, you further testify that this taxi had its left sliding door open. And SBIYA said yes, it was open. SBIYA said he was not searched when they arrested him. He tried to run away. They held him and pressed him on the ground. So, and then they cuffed him. Baloyi was now the one asking SBIYA how the charge of dealing in illegal substances arose. Why is he asking SBIYA that?
We are fishing. I think.
Fishing for what? Because you are the prosecutor. The investigators should have updated you on what is going on. What was this? I just felt like I'm being exposed to something that I wasn't ready for. Like, what's that?
No, we're just fishing. I mean, there was a point of that question. I think it had to do with chain of command, chain of things, how things were actually. And also to bank. I mean, remember, in his head, Baloyi believes that MUZI said his phone was taken. It's been a long case.
Well, SBIYA said he doesn't know how it came about because he did not have illegal substances on him. And then Baloyi said, but did they inform you that they were arresting you for a charge of dealing in illegal substances? SBIYA said, when we left Klorkop to Tembisa South, when they took my thumbprints, that's when they told me that they're charging me for illegal substance dealing. So Baloyi then said, in what context did the charge arise? Where was it derived from? And SBIYA said, the police, I would never speak for them, but I had no illegal substances on me. And Baloyi then said, were there any of your personal belongings seizes during your arrest or taken during your arrest? Your personal belongings? SBIYA said they did not take his cell phone because his uncle actually arrived after he heard that he got arrested at the police station, and he says that he gave him his cell phone there. He left it with his uncle. So Baloyi then asked him, did they confiscate a cell phone from you during your arrest? SBIYA said no, they didn't. So if someone was to tell this court that the cell phone was confiscated during arrest, that would be incorrect. SBIYA said if they took it, then when would they have taken it? Because my cell phone was taken by my uncle and he returned it home. When I left the police station, I found it at home. Baloyi repeated the question again. So that preposition would be incorrect, that your cell phone was confiscated during arrest on the 19th of May 2019. I was starting to feel like, hey, Bana, was the phone cloned or something? What's a lot? I was building an anticipation for a bag. I was like, maybe something is happening here. SBIYA responds and said, but how was it taken? By taking it, do you mean like registering it like other investigators do, or how? Baloyi said, yes, taking it from you. SBIYA asked again, but by taking it, then giving it back. Baloyi said, no, Mr. SBIYA, please. The proposition is simply the following. If someone was to tell this court that your cell phone was confiscated, taken away from you, will that be correct? In other words, taken in as an exhibit. SBIYA said, no, that person would be telling would not be telling the truth. Baloyi referred SBIYA to the record of the 19th of April 2024. Oh boy, was I not ready. During the cross-examination of Sergeant Mohola by Mgomezulu, where Mr. Mgomezulu said the cell phone in 2019 was taken from accused number 1, it was sealed and it was given a seal number. He referred to a gold-colored cell phone. I was not ready for this, in my opinion. I thought maybe he would use something else. But to use Mr. Mgomezulu like this,
it's not using Mr. Mgomezulu, Amy.
What is it?
It is called losing the record.
How matter? Why is it the record? His record is only on Mgomezulu. Can't we let him rest?
It's not about letting Mgomezulu rest or what. Unfortunately, Mgomezulu, when he passed away, he had already done the job somewhere, somehow, and it is going to be referred to. It's dummy.
I was not ready. I was like, bring me something recent, bring me something undamnisi, but then I can't. See
they have to revisit and then the contradictions that were happening there, considering the situation that Mgomezulu was put under.
It was a stressful condition on top of that.
Yes.
There was a lot of things happening there that we'd rather not revisit.
The court does not look at that. And it shall never look at that court. Never. Small mistakes such as that, it was a mistake. It was just an error where you use 19.
One thing I'm also realizing is that they sure like using testimonies of deceased persons.
No, as a lawyer, you are going to look for something that's going to suit your narrative. I think we must. There is nothing wrong with that.
People that can't speak for themselves.
No. This one of Mgomezulu does not belong to that category. It does not belong to that category. There was no de novo here. It's a continuation of what Mgomezulu started, of what Ramsipi did. They are interchanging them. And that's where they feel they would get joy in terms of contradicting.
SBIYA said perhaps Mgomezulu wanted to say 2020 and not 2019. The phone they confiscated.
Correctly answering. That's the best way of answering. It's like he's a lawyer. Correcting that error of date, that's it. It's okay.
The phone they confiscated in 2020 was the same phone I was using in 2019. It was taken by Mohola. Mohola never returned it. That is why I keep saying that the police were not going to have trouble finding me, because I was using the same number in 2019 and 2020. I was still using that number. If police were looking for me, they would have been able to find me on that number. 2018 and 2020 says he was using the same address. Baloyi then said, but this is how the record read and it was never corrected.
Do you see? You get that? He's got nothing.
It doesn't mean I have respect for it. I still don't.
What is it supposed to hang on to?
It is the bottom of the barrel for me. It has no... I don't know.
What is it supposed to hang on to? This is a case, and we have since realized that there is no fairness in any court of law.
It's just I'm just giving him the side eye. That's the best I can do right now. No more commentary coming from me. But it doesn't mean I have to respect the game. I don't.
I think the guy handled it well to say that I'm here to rectify it.
SBIYA
That's the best. Yeah. Simple as that.
SBIYA said that he knew that he will get an opportunity to stand on the witness box, and he's speaking on what he knows happened. Maybe Mr. Mgomezulu did not hear properly of the year of when his phone was taken. Then Baloyi said, but you always put up your hand when Mr. Mgomezulu says something you don't agree with. SBIYA said, yes, I was never going to sit there and direct every single word coming out of Mgomezulu's mouth. Mgomezulu was a lawyer. He knew what he was saying. If I did not hear it, I would come here and correct it. If it was taken what Mgomezulu was saying, then I would be given a chance to be on the witness box to state my case. That is why I'm here.
You see, if SBIYA just studied any further than what he studied,
And now he can be a lawyer now.
he could have made a good lawyer.
After this experience, it's never too late. Listen. But it depends on what the outcome is. But he's trained. He's trained with his experiences. I feel like some people have to go through the fire to realize their potential. And I remember even that there was a series inspired by an American man who had gone to prison. He was framed. I'm not saying that that's the situation here, but I remember watching that series, Mr. Anonymous, and feeling like, wow, that man was framed, and then he went to prison, sat in prison. As he was in prison, he studied law, came out with his law degree, and he became like one of the best lawyers in New York. So I was like, things like this can happen. Can happen. So some people maybe need to go through the experience before they realize what they're capable of. So Baloyi went to the part where he said he was taken to Glorkop in Tembisa at some police place. Baloyi said that SBIYA never mentioned that their offices were taken. They were taken to TRT or Amaberete offices when they gave his testimony last week. So Baloyi now asked that during the interrogation and before he met Abu SBIYA, the four people, if they called someone in. SBIYA said that he was being beaten up and it was busy. Utibek pitizela, so he can't say that he saw someone enter. I felt like here he wanted to confuse SBIYA, in my opinion, because it seems like maybe he was the one who was confused, because he was speaking as if he's speaking about the incident where Gininda came in, and that was in 2020. Remember, while he was testifying about Mboto holding the paper, and then Gininda walked in. I feel like Baloyi was there, but he put it in 2019. I don't know whether it was to try and confuse MUZI SBIYA or whether he was
confusion.
Confused himself.
He's confused. Some of these things are a mirror of what later happened in 2020.
And I just felt like it's tricky questions.
It's not tricky. He's confused.
He's confused.
And the also at some point it does feel like he takes Ntanzi's testimony and he makes it his. Yes.
I was like, what's going on, Mr. Baloyi? I even heard SBIYA saying, did you read your notes? If you can compare with your notes. So Baloyi then said if someone was to tell the court that they were assaulting they informed you that they were still going to call the person that had information that you killed Senzo Meyiwa. SBIYA said that he does not remember that preposition. So Baloyi went again to the trial within the trial on the 5th of February 2024. He read what SBIYA testified and said as they were assaulting him, they informed him that they were still going to call the person who had this information that he killed Senzo. Then Mr. Mgomezulu said, okay, or was the person called? SBIYA responded and said they called the person. Mgomezulu asked, did you see the person? And then SBIYA said, yes, he did. SBIYA then said, if he put it like that, then he must have forgotten to place it now. But he was taken to 4 people who were going to talk to him about the killing of Senzo. Baloyi asked if that person was called. SBIYA said the people that he said to speak to did arrive and he went to them. Baloyi said that he was talking about the first office where he was taken. SBIYA said Zungu, the person who lied that he was there during the killing of Senzo Meyiwa, was there as well. He said there were 4 people. Zungu was there amongst those 4 people. So Baloyi then said, so you only saw them when you went to another office, not when you were there in the first office. SBIYA said, let me explain it like this. What happened when I was assaulted in 2019, I cannot put it how I'm putting it today, but Zungu, who lied that I killed Senzo, was there. I'm saying the same thing. The difference may be in how I'm putting it, but it happened exactly like that. What happened in 2019, you may put it differently now in 2025. It's been quite a while. It was not happening under normal circumstances. It was happening while I was being tortured. Baloyi said SBIYA is confused. Maybe it's because he was not there like he says. Baloyi said that's his thinking. Or SBIYA said that's your thinking. He went to Glorikop and was tortured there by the police asking about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. He saw Zungu, Leshabani, Makubo, and General SBIYA there for the very first time. He asked where would he know all these people from if he never saw them as he was getting tortured by the police.
A very good question. Debunk baseless accusation.
Baloyi sought clarity on General SBIYA that it was indeed Shadrach SBIYA, because at some point while he was asking, he said, is it General SBIYA? And then MUZI said yes. But then Advocate Nisi objected and he said it's very vague. When you refer to him as Lieutenant General SBIYA only, let it be on the record exactly who General SBIYA is. And after probing, Baloyi asked SBIYA which General SBIYA, and MUZI said Shadrach SBIYA.
For the purpose of what that was, I think it is correct. You might undermine it. Why this probes?
I did not undermine it. It's very important. That's why I'm highlighting it.
Why do you think it's important?
Because they could be talking about another General SBIYA. They could be talking about a SBIYA who is not named properly on the record. Okay,
I hear that. Here's the reason why I think it is important.
Okay.
SBIYA at the time was not a general, no brigadier, no anything. He was Shadrach. So if you put a lieutenant or a lieutenant, if there's something like that, then we are confusing the record.
I forgot.
That is the main aim of making that be read like that in the record.
He was Shadrach SBIYA
yes.
then. He wasn't Lieutenant General.
Exactly.
I had even forgotten about that. So SBIYA said he knows that General SBIYA was a police officer, but he doesn't know what he is now.
Even then, he was not a police officer.
I guess he was given the impression that he
officer.
was. When he popped up and the police officers and General SBIYA is there, Shadrach SBIYA is there, what is he supposed to think? Now, Makubo is the one who came to testify in the trial within a trial. Baloyi read where Makubo said that he was called by General Leshabani and he did not know Glorikop properly. He was driving at around 2000 hours. And MUZI said that they met with Makubo. And when they met with Makubo, it was in the afternoon, where he says that he could not see the sun from where he was placed.
Okay.
Then Baloyi read where Makubo said that he was wearing, Uzungu was wearing uniform with no ranks on it.
Oh, no name.
Then SBIYA said that General SBIYA was not working for SAPS at the time. And they were in Leshabani's office. Baloyi pointed out that MUZI was not there. SBIYA said that Warrant Officer Makubo not mentioning his name does not mean that he was not there. This is MUZI responding. Because Advocate Baloy was saying your name is not mentioned, where Zungu says they had a meeting with the four of them at General Shabane's office. Your name is not there.
You see what I hate about this drum and Dutch law? It undermines the truth, in my opinion. It can really undermine the truth. There is no middle ground. Take, for example, the line of questioning when Makubo was there was upon the entrance.
Yes.
Never was he questioned or probed about whether
About seeing MUZI. The confrontation between them and MUZI SBIYA and what he thought and what his feelings were. The Mgomezulu was blocked from going there.
And then it was closed there. And then Baloy comes back and asks a question. And then, because this case is based on circumstances, he says because of that.
Mgomezulu was blocked on
Because
pondering on a lot of things.
not being mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, the so-called meeting, therefore you were not there. Seeking answers from a person that actually should be validated by Makubo, as Makubo has validated the four people.
Yes.
Including himself.
Even Zungu, they are there in his statement.
So it's a proxy game. It's a play of playing with your tongue. Okay, let me ask this way, and then I'm gonna use that later to trap him or denounce whatever that he's saying. So the court also, which is expected, in my opinion, to be able to make sense of these things. I doubt that I have faith in that court to make sense of such, to say, but this person, here is a person who comes first to testify. He talks about four people. Here is two more witnesses that comes after that. They talk about the four people and they were part of those people. Nothing differs on that. But yet, here is a prosecutor here telling me that this man was never there. Then how did this man know that there was ever a meeting?
Yes.
You know, a reasonable enough judge should be able to ask themselves that. That's a
and a
middle
lot
ground
happened on
about.
this night, because even Zungu himself says, I was told that I'm lying. I was told what an officer Makubo said to me, I am lying.
Exactly.
A lot happened on this night. So to just limit it to an intro.
And that's a way of dealing with things. That's how, since I've watched this case, that's how Baloyi has been dealing with this case.
Which is why he would block some of the probing questions.
Yes, to
from
squeeze you
and
to be in a position that is compromised where he wants you.
Yes.
So can we say that any of these courts, it's all about finding the real truth?
No.
Or it's about winning?
Looking at this case, I have a totally different picture. It's like a game. It's like Murabaraba.
Exactly. I mean, Lava, I see you making a move. I know where you're gonna go, and I squeezed on that.
And I set a trap.
I set a trap on that. So that's how this thing is. So you can't say that you're assisting the court while you're playing games like this.
So SBIYA said that Warrant Officer Makubo, not mentioning his name does not mean that he was never there. He did not see him when he arrived. Makubo said that when he arrived, he was introduced to the people he found there. SBIYA said that when he got there, he found Makubo there. So SBIYA in this instance, we're talking about MUZI, SBIYA accused number one. He says that when he entered that space, he had already found Makubo there. He was not there when they were doing the introductions. He was not there when they were telling Makubo, this is so and so, this is so and so. He was not there. So Mnisi then objected and said, Baloyi said that he did not understand Mnisi's objection. And then he said that Makubo mentioned names that were there, and SBIYA's name is not there. You know, in my opinion, it still does not give weight to the fact that he, you know, what is it material?
Here, what we are doing, we are poking holes, or we are creating a situation where a witness on the box is not a reliable person. That is where we are going. We want to submit and say, this person is not reliable. And that has always been built on the basis of the so-called confession. Remember that. So from now on, it's all about creating that environment where SBIYA looks like less or not even credible at all person, because he lied on his confession for free, and he was not coerced when he lied. Apparently he volunteered to lie on the confession. That is what Balo is doing. That's why he's looking for these white lies, like according to him. Character is what we call character assassination. We're dealing with the character of SBIYA.
So Baloyi now read where Makubo was asked by Mgomezulu if SBIYA was mentioned, and Makubo said that he had said they arrested him on the 19th of March 2019 for the case of Senzo Meyiwa. SBIYA confirmed that he was arrested on that day, and that when he saw Makubo, SBIYA and Zungu, even Lishabani, he saw Zungu and Makubo for the second time in court, but he never saw SBIYA and Lishabani, General SBIYA and Lishabani. They never made it to court.
But now this is when Nesi should be preparing that question to say, you said when you were arrested in 2019, it had nothing to do with the substances whatsoever that people claimed you were arrested for.
Yes.
It had to do with Senzo's case. And then go to the record where this guy, Baloyi, is reading where Makubo says, they said to me, they arrested this guy for Senzo's case. What you are doing exactly what this guy has been doing.
Baloyi.
Yes.
And it does the same thing. So you then put it that yes, this meeting did take place. Warrant Officer Makubo was there, Lishabani was there, Zungu was there. According to the testimony of Zungu and Warrant Officer Makubo, there's no denial that that took place, that they went to Chlorokop. Chlorokop was the destination on that night. It did happen.
Yes.
Let us stop moving like a yo-yo. It didn't happen. Next thing it happened. When MUZI first brought it up, they said it didn't happen.
Yes.
And then Zungu came and testified and said it happened. And then one officer Makubo came and testified and said it happened. So it happened. Amen. So Baloyi said that what the witness has been saying, that he went to Chlorokop, he was put in one room and he was interrogated and he was taken to another room where 4 people were present, right? But did he say that the room was an office? Did he say that he was there when they were giving each other introductions? When Warrant Officer Makubo had just walked into, did he say it was an office? I don't remember that. Baloyi said that he must quote the record. Baloyi said that it was from the 3rd of October 2023 when Mshololo asked Zungu if General Lishabani was present when he met the General SBIYA and Warrant Officer Makubo and Lishabani. Zungu said yes. And then Baloyi went on to say, we put it to you that you were not present at this meeting that I have just quoted here. You see now. So the meeting did take place. Now you are removing MUZI from the... So you are removing MUZI from Tluorekop.
Yes.
So what would be the reason and purpose for Makubo to drive all the way? What is the purpose now after removing MUZI?
The idea would be that it was to have this special witness in a form of Zoom. That's what he's trying to paint.
I hear that. But then
To
what
tell
do
them
we
about
do?
who killed Senzo.
What do we do about the part where Zungu himself is saying he was accused of lying by Makubo?
Yes, that story can stand alone. To say Makubo was to be briefed as part of the people that were at the time investigating about the breakthrough that is currently happening, and then that's basically what he's trying to paint. He's now accepting that there was ever such a meeting where 4 people were included, but the meeting was basically that they were there to brief each other.
SBIYA said, I never talked about a meeting. When I arrived at where they were, I found all 4 of them and they asked me about Senzo's death. This is where also SBIYA took the hint from his legal representative, because earlier on he did object to say that SBIYA never talked about a meeting. MUZI SBIYA never talked about a meeting. Accused number 1 never talked about a meeting. Right? Which is true. He never talked about a meeting. He just said he was taken to this other room to meet these 4. They were asking him, interrogating him about Senzo's death. Baloyi hammered on this, saying that Warrant Officer Makubo and Zungu said that only 4 people were present. And SBIYA said, yes, they are right. He found 4 of them when he was asked questions. There were 4 indeed. Then Baloyi said, but the fact is your name is not mentioned anywhere, not even by Warrant Officer Makubo. SBIYA said that he found 3 people, but he did not mention that after some time who arrived. Zungu said that they had a meeting and he doesn't know about this meeting. So when he found them, they were asking him about Senzo's death. Baloyi went to cross-examine about SBIYA's family members now, and it got really awkward. And he said that they mentioned in court, these family members that were mentioned in court, SBIYA confirmed that his father was normally SBIYA, his mother being from the Mtuli family. His relation is to accused number 5. So Baloyi said accused number 5, is he your uncle? And SBIYA said, no, I never said that he's my uncle. Then Baloyi asked, even if your mother is from the Ntuli family, there's absolutely no relationship between you and accused number 5.
One is Zulu. Izulu sizokudabula. Ne? Or sizokudabula or utlo hafanyana.
How batung?
Wankutla man. Wankutla. Sizokushaya Zulu, because let's make an example of how can Ntuli surname be inherited.
How? Caesar, help us.
Untuli could be Ntuli just because Untulu ozalwa ekhaya konina ubaba wakhe mhlawumbe akashadanga.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So if that is the case, what is he to MUZI?
Sibling.
Exactly. With different surnames, right?
With difference.
Exactly.
With different
Togo to
parents.
MUZI's mother got married to MUZI's father.
Yes.
So MUZI's using the surname, from father's side, which is SBIYA. That's a first example. The other example could be that Ntuli Ntuli is not in the same line nomaga MUZI.
Okay.
They're not in the same line. Uthola ukuthi uNtuli uzalwa yes ibrother ka Lokhuzana ka Makantuli ka Maka SBIYA. In that case umalume ka MUZI ubaba ka Kantuli. Do you get me? That's another way. And then the third one is obviously where Baloyi looked at as an uncle. If Untuli and MUZI's mother could be siblings.
Yes.
So, this is Zulu. Suktabula.
Yeah, it was quite a long journey to unpack the family tree.
So, tabula ntwela. Ka o tla re wa gafanyana. O tabula o re mfana wa tella. O wa kwata. Relax. Ke tla o correcta wena. Ska wara ke tla lo wena. Let's press the like button. Ke tla lo wena, ke tla o correcta. Wa bona mo. Ntuli o asi uncle yaka.
It was quite a lot. SBIYA said that his mother is of the Ntuli surname. Accused number 5 is also Ntuli. What relates them is the surname.
Ke cousin.
His cousin. Not his uncle.
That's the second part that I explained.
Yes.
That would mean that Ntuli is using the father's surname, which is Ntuli,
Yes.
but is not in the same line as no mother. So they are cousins.
Cousin. Yay! So,
Umzala kazinto.
Baloyi then said, you say you regard him as your cousin. SBIYA said, yes. So, Baloyi then said, your mother and Sfiso, Gwabeni's mother, are they sisters? SBIYA said, yes. So, your brothers, alternatively, you testify today, you are cousins. SBIYA said, he is born of my mother's sister. To me, Gwabeni says brother to me.
That's correct.
So SBIYA confirmed Gwabeni as his brother.
That's correct.
About knowing Zungu's father as Nhlanhlezi, SBIYA said he only knew him as Nhlanhlezi Zungu. Baloyi then said, it sounds like you have been knowing him over some time. SBIYA said, yes. When I was growing up, he actually built a crash that I went to.
As
They
the man
lived-
said, he said he's known for good things, that site.
Yes. So he went to a preschool that was built by Ubab Absalam.
A good man.
He's a good man. So, but you can tell he's a good, principled man. You can tell with that interview. You can actually tell. So they lived in the same neighborhood. So, Baloyi then asked him, but you maintain that you did not know Constable Zungu. SBIYA said, yes. How come, if he is the son of Nhlanhlezi, how come you don't know Constable Zungu? SBIYA said, he did not grow up in my village. Constable Zungu, I don't know where he was born.
He should
in
have left it
Newcastle.
there. He should have just left it there.
But he did not grow up with us.
That's a good enough answer. Leave it there. I'm talking about Baloyi. He should have not probed any further because that made him look stupid now after that.
Well, he went to the record of the 8th of September 2023 during the cross-examination of Zungu by Ramosepeli, where accused number 1 said that he denied knowing Zungu as his neighbor from home. SBIYA said that he is maintaining that he doesn't know him. He doesn't know Zungu. Baloyi then said, you know the father, but you don't know the son. SBIYA said the father is from his village.
Jeban. So look at it this way. Kwa yena uBaloyi. Mhlawumbe bengasilona isoka. Yabo. Amasoka inqwaba sikhula phambi kwamasoka. And uyabona Absalom isoka lelana. Ukana abafazi ababili lo muntu kusho ukuthi probably kunezingane nje ngaphandle.
Yeah.
So lezo ngane sizozazi. How are you supposed to know those kids when? Kanti umbambela amakhandlela la hamba khona. as Mbuza. No, but I don't mean to disrespect. But honestly speaking, Mbuza is just crazy. How do you ask that question?
Like, SBIYA is supposed to know.
Everyone.
Not only everyone, he's supposed to know the path of Absalom Zungu, his love life, how many children he has, all over wherever he has been and walked. So SBIYA is supposed to be privy to that information. This is hilarious. He's supposed to know. He's supposed to know that. SBIYA. Okay. That's a little too much, especially for a man they respect in the community. I don't think they want to know all of that. Would you want to know a respectable man?
I mean,
in your
you're
community?
asking a straightforward question like Ubaloi. That's a straightforward question. Like, honestly speaking.
SBIYA said that the father is from his village. Zungu is from Newcastle with his mother. He does not reside with his father. He says he does know the father, but not Zungu. Zungu mentions SBIYA's father as Nomali. This is what Advocate Baloyi brought up. And SBIYA said that just like Advocate Baloyi, just because he called his father's name, it does not mean that he knows him. Even his father does not know Zungu. SBIYA knows accused number 2 as an acquaintance, and the person he's close to is Gwabin. Accused number 2 apparently is close with the Gwabin.
Yeah, consistently with what he's been saying, because they are almost the same age.
So Baloyi read out accused number 2's number and said that it was found in SBIYA's phone. SBIYA said that accused number 2 was not stored on his phone. He did not store him on his contact list, but the number, if it was there, SBIYA said that his brother Gwabeni would often use his phone to call accused number 2. However, his numbers are not saved in his phone. So Baloyi went to a photo evidence now and showed him a picture and said that it was found in the downloads of accused number 2's cell phone, which were pictures of SBIYA. Apparently it was 2 pictures. SBIYA said anyone at home is free to use his phone whenever it has airtime. So he's not the type to be stingy and private with his phone. If people want to make phone calls at home and use his phone, he allows them to use it. As to who they call, he cannot speak also for the photos. It's his pictures that were found in another person's phone. He used these pictures on his WhatsApp status and profile pictures so anyone could get access to them. Even in statuses, he used to place them there. Only he can explain as to how he downloaded his pictures. Guys, this was before they did that whole PP lock thing. I see now people are locking their profile pictures so you can't even take a screenshot to download it. Back then, I think that thing is recent. It may be a year now that they've activated it on WhatsApp.
Once you view, some phones download because the settings, you set things like that.
Yeah, so that as it gets in, it downloads automatically. So that used to happen, I know. But the pictures of accused number 1 are in accused number 2's phone. So it was speculated that Gwabeni is the one who downloaded these pictures, is what Baloyi was saying. And SBIYA said that a person who can explain how those pictures were downloaded to their phone is accused number 2. SBIYA maintained that he never called Ntanzi. Baloyi now casted aspersions that when they called Ntanzi, his explanation was that they were checking on each other, which is something that is relating to the evidence that was cross-examined by, I think it was Ramosipil, I can't quite recall, or was it, no, it was Ngumalo, Advocate Ngumalo, about accused number 4. That's the testimony that happened then, and now it's like intertwining now, and I'm like, what is going on? SBIYA said that maybe the prosecutor should look carefully into their notes as to what was being said. Ramosipili objected as well and said that he's mischaracterizing the evidence of the witness. It was in respect of accused number 4, not accused number 2. Baloyi said that they will find the relevant portions in the morning where accused number 1 conceded that those calls were made to accused number 2. He also said that it was in Mshololo's cross-examination.
The judge said that.
Is it the judge?
Correction. The judge said N. Mshololo.
Ooh, this was a disaster. What is going on? Who put Dr. Sibanda?
Who needs Dr. Sibanda if you have a judge?
Oh, but it's a misnomer. It's a misnomer. So Baloyi also moved now to the cell phone data. Accused number 2's number was 660690168890. Contacted accused number 1 was 0793799007 16 times between 13th November 2018 and 5th of April 2020. SBIYA explained again that he never phoned Ntanzi. His phone is free to use by everyone at home. Ntanzi is the one who can speak as to who made regular contact with him via his number. Mnisi requested Baloyi to place all the information on record, the towers, the call duration, every single thing, every single detail. Baloyi then said that Shololo did place. She also did not place everything on record. So. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is funny. He was literally refusing to put everything on record. He just didn't want to. So Rabu Sipili still maintained that Mshololo did not cross-examine regarding the communication between SBIYA and accused number 2. SBIYA also maintained that they were speaking of accused number 4 and not accused number 2. SBIYA said Nkazimulo is his cousin. He is his uncle's child. Zungu also said that his life was threatened by Nkazimulo. Remember, in his testimony, said Nkazimulo came in driving with the car. They opened the window slowly and he ran away and stuff like that. SBIYA said that he does not know anything about that. There was never anyone who asked him to speak to Nkazimulo. Baloyi asked about the relation of Nkazimulo and accused number 5. SBIYA said both of them are Ntuli. So just because both of them are Ntuli, it does not mean that the Zungu's testimony is substantiated or true. Baloyi referred to Ntanzi's confession with Ms. Grenier, where it's written that Ntanzi received a call from Sfiso Ntuli, accused number 5, who got his number from MUZI SBIYA. SBIYA then replied and said that he cannot speak to the statement because he does not know under what condition Ntanzi was being made to write it. He does not know it. There is no number that was wanted from him because he did not have it. Baloyi read the story of Zungu and family meeting that was held about the killing of Senzo, and SBIYA said Gwabeni is a Zungu and he is a SBIYA. There is no meeting that was held at his home in Gwabeni's presence, and there's no fight that he had with his sisters, and he knows nothing about Senzo's death. So SBIYA said that he's related to Gwabeni. His mother and SBIYA's mother are both Ntuli. Baloyi asked SBIYA if he had sisters. SBIYA said he doesn't have sisters. He's an only child. But there are young children at home that he does not fight with. Uthi ingane zasekhaya, the girls that are at home.
Amantombazana asekhaya.
Yes. And Baloyi said, do you have a sister called Celiwe? SBIYA said no. And Baloyi asked him, when you say now that you have never fought with your sisters, who are you referring to? Remember earlier he had mentioned something about sisters that he had never fought with his sisters. Now Advocate Baloyi token that, right? And he was now asking him about sisters. So SBIYA then said, I meant that there's nothing that made me fight with the girls at home. The girls at home are born of my aunt, my cousins. They are my cousins, not biological sisters. So their surname is Ndlela, born of SBIYA. Their names are Letiwe Zinhle Nikiwe. And then Advocate Baloyi, so you don't know your sister called Celiwe? SBIYA said there's no such a person. Now they asked about Tulimbata. SBIYA said that he's a SBIYA. There's no lady called Mbata at his home. SBIYA said he
Mbata is a surname.
Yes, he doesn't know the surname at his home, the relation with Mbata. SBIYA said that he knew a person called Tulimbata and she's nothing to him. Now, Baloy asked, do you know if Tulimbata was present at a meeting where Meyiwa was present at your home? And SBIYA said he knew Tuli from Ngutu, not Mahlabatini. He doesn't know how she would make it to Mahlabatini. He knew nothing about that. Baloy asked if his father ever called a meeting where Tuli and Meyiwa were present at Mahlabatini. SBIYA said no, that never happened. Gwabeni was not at any such meeting as well. Asked if his father and Gwabeni's father ever held a meeting regarding Senzo's death. SBIYA said no, his father was shocked when he was arrested for Senzo's death. So they asked if his father ever offered Tuli 4,000 rands in order for her not to disclose what MUZI had told her, regarding the death of Senzo Meyiwa. SBIYA said no, where would his father get such money? I remember there was a story, I think this is what is being tied to it. I don't know, I may be wrong, but there were stories that were going around earlier on when we were still following the case about there was Uktelelana Ramanti or something like that. I think this is what is being intertwined here, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Then Baloy said, did Gwabeni contribute 4,000 rands to Tuli in that meeting? And SBIYA said no, there was no money that was contributed to anybody because there's nothing that confines us to this matter. I'm here because I know nothing about this matter. Baloy asked if he was at Zungu's sister's wedding in August of 2019. SBIYA said no, there was never a time where he attended a wedding with Zungu. And he said he also never discussed Senzo's matter with Zungu in that meeting.
I like how he gives answers required here. Not divulging more. Yeah, I think Baloy in trying to talk about this thing, he was expecting him to explain the situation of the wedding.
Yeah.
But he just gives the answer to that. And then I'm not going to tell you about what you don't need to know, which is the wedding, which I think it might have happened, but it was a wedding.
Nothing about the wedding.
It was a wedding. The way you're explaining it, I know nothing about that.
Actually, you've seen what happens. You mention something, and next thing, they're
you're
looking
giving
for
someone some ammunition to cross-examine you on something.
They're looking for doctors at hospitals and stuff. It's all weird stuff that happens in this case. So no, can Tanzi take notes, please?
I think this guy is solid.
Take notes.
Very, very much
Case
solid.
number 2, take notes, please. No need to over-explain. No need to... Tell your truth. Calm down. Be precise and concise. So SBIYA denied Zungu ever calling him, and SBIYA denied ever living in Mpumalanga because Zungu had mentioned him SBIYA going to Mpumalanga at some point.
And then there's a link with the towers. You know what is funny about this Zungu fella? The section 205 of MUZI was taken from 2015, right?
Yes.
Up until, 2019?
No, it was from 2018.
So this fella
2020.
only appears to be calling Zungu on 2019 when Zungu is already in trouble. That's where this fella comes in.
Yeah. And it's around that time
He
when
claims
they
he knows
arrested
this
him
man. Yes.
for the first time. Right about that time, 2019 is the year that MUZI was arrested for the first time, asking about this Senzo Meyiwa case.
And then he comes in now, all of a sudden he becomes the owner of the truth. Everywhere. It is in line with what Zung is saying. I didn't know this guy up until this guy accused me. In fact, I know him. I've seen him. We've met him, but we're not friends. No cause, no nothing. But just right in time for this case. Yazi abanye abantu bacabanga ukuthi sonke siphuma lenyanyado. No, man. You can't. You can't. There's no other way around this thing. I mean, you can't just come with something out of nowhere. It only starts, the conversation only starts then.
It's very, very unfortunate. Very suspicious. But at the same time, it goes to show that sometimes people are weird.
Wicked, to say the least. Guys, internet niyabona ukuthi lokhu basibhizi basinqamula basijubula basenza yonke into, but qedile ngithi.
Kind of, sorta, yeah.
Yeah. Siyabonga. I-internet ke nje bayasinqamula phela. Bayasivuka, bayasivulela, bephinde besivalele. Abafuni sikhulume.
Okay. That's our cue, guys.
Siyabonga ke kodwa ke. Badanki. Thank you very much. Norebuka ngamanda. I thank you all. Kyan leboga. Ke lebogile. Re lebogile.
Kolebua.
Di hore bua.
Kolebua ngamanda.
Something like that. But yeah, I pay little love, guys. Thank you. This one has been long, 2 hours. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Tomorrow it is.